What if some of the things you do every day aren't weird, but actually signs of a different way of thinking? Talking to yourself, enjoying being alone, staying awake late at night, or collecting random things might seem unusual. But some of these behaviors are surprisingly common among highly intelligent people. In this video, we'll look at 6 weird habits that are linked to higher intelligence and the psychology behind why they happen. Habit 1. Talking to yourself out loud. When you narrate a problem instead of just thinking it silently, you're forcing your brain to slow down and organize a thought into full sentences. Speaking engages more of the brain than silent thinking alone, especially the parts responsible for planning and self-monitoring. That's why people often catch their own mistakes the moment they say a plan out loud, mistakes that stayed completely as invisible while the same plan just sat quietly in their head. Habit 2. Craving long stretches of time alone. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about needing space for a very specific kind of mental work. Deep, uninterrupted focus, the kind that gets shattered by even small social check-ins. Solitude gives the brain room to make unusual connections between ideas, the kind that rarely surface in the middle of a group conversation where attention constantly bounces from person to person. Some of the most original ideas anyone has ever had were assembled in total silence, with nobody else in the room to interrupt the thread. Habit 3. Staying up late, even when mornings would clearly work better. Night owls often report their sharpest, most creative thinking happening after everyone else has gone to bed. One theory is simple: fewer distractions, fewer notifications, fewer people needing something from you. The mind gets to wander without interruption, and wandering, it turns out, is where a surprising amount of real thinking actually happens. Habit 4. Collecting oddly specific things. Bottle caps, vintage maps, obscure vinyl records nobody else has heard of. This isn't just a quirky hobby. Deep, narrow obsession trains a very particular skill, noticing tiny differences other people would completely overlook. Someone who can tell 40 different pressings of the same record apart at a glance has built a kind of pattern recognition that quietly transfers into other areas of thinking, even ones that have nothing to do with vinyl. Habit 5. Leaving your desk messy on purpose, or at least never quite managing to tidy it. A cluttered desk looks chaotic from the outside, but for some people, it's actually a visual map of an active mind. Half-finished ideas scattered in plain sight instead of filed away and forgotten. Constantly tidying can quietly interrupt a train of thought before it's finished. Some of the messiest workspaces in history belong to people who were, at the exact same time, deep in the middle of solving something. Habit 6. Daydreaming more than feels productive. Staring out a window mid-task looks like the opposite of focus. But the brain doesn't actually go quiet during a daydream. A specific network quietly activates, one linked to imagination, future planning, and creative problem solving. That stray thought that shows up out of nowhere in the shower or on a walk isn't randomness. It's often the daydreaming brain finally finishing a calculation. It started earlier, away from the noise of active focus. Here's the important part. None of these 6 habits are proof of anything.